I thought it would be easier the more I talked about leaving MAGA, being a 3-time Trump voter. But I have to be completely honest with you that it's not getting easier, and it actually feels like it's getting more difficult.
I would like to first apologize for my past MAGA activism. Had I met all of you when I was in MAGA, I would have deemed each and every one of you to be an existential threat. And for that, I'm sorry. You did not deserve to be dehumanized in that way.
I thought it would be easier talking about leaving MAGA as a 3-time Trump voter than it is, but some of y'all are really mean. And I get this was me this time last year, but that doesn't matter.
Someone who was raised MAGA, here are the 3 things that made me realize it's a cult so I could get the fuck out.
Let me say something real quick. We have all seen people argue in public, but every now and then there is a moment that goes beyond just an argument. The moment where emotion takes over, where frustrations spill out, and where everything someone has been holding in just explode. Right now, a viral clip is making round online showing the supporters of Donald Trump completely losing control in public. And the reason why, that's what has the people talking, because this is not just about one person. This is about prayer, expectation, and what happens when reality doesn't match belief. But before we go further, I want you to watch some of those clips carefully. Don't just look at the reaction, listen to what's being said, watch the body language, feel the tension in that moment, because once you see it, you will understand why this went viral so fast. So, without wasting much time, let's watch those clips.
I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but a lot of people are saying they're leaving MAGA now and they're angry at Trump. And I'm like, why all of a sudden they're talking about the Iran war and Trump getting involved? Some people are complaining that the groceries, inflation, gas prices, the economy pretty much has not improved like Trump promised. Day one, he was going to lower everything, make all your dreams come true, all the bullshit. So a lot of people are realizing that the economy is not improving. I mean, I don't know what you MAGAs do when you go to the grocery store. You look the other way, pretend that the prices aren't going up for the most things, the most items. A few items have gone down, but not significantly where you can say, wow, I can really feel in my wallet that things are improving. So I guess the last straw for MAGA was the war. That Trump might be getting into a war and MAGA can handle it, can stand it, because they don't want another war. And Trump promised no wars. But you MAGAs were okay when he said, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Jimmy goes to school. 4 days later, he comes back with an operation and he's now Julie.
I thought it would be easier the more I talked about leaving MAGA, being a 3-time Trump voter. But I have to be completely honest with you that it's not getting easier, and it actually feels like it's getting more difficult because I'm gaining more empathy. And I don't think people really realize how counterintuitive the hate that I receive when you can take one look at my page and see that I am doing the work. I read a comment this morning that I'm not stitching because I don't want hate to come our way, but you'll understand why I'm reading it. I've been deconstructing from Christianity and left MAGA. I do not speak about it because the hate you receive from the left is no different from the hate you received when you were in the cult. I'm just minding my own business and rewiring my whole belief system. What people don't understand is how hard it is to actually wake up and realize your entire life has been a lie, and now you have to start over from scratch. I'm not going to allow any negativity from anyone into my life. It's hard enough to do this. I can't see. I had to stop and gather myself. Not only that, I'm not going to be a part of any political party or religion ever again, so the expectation of the left thinking we have to vote blue now in order to make amends or something is not something I want to be a part of. The amount of "I'll never forgive you" I see in your last video is enough for me to never try to speak up on anything that's happened to get me here. My entire family is deep Southern conservative Christian Republicans. It's been buried into my whole system since birth. Seeing my truth and removing myself from it has been the hardest thing I've ever done. I don't really know what else to say other than, I don't think that this is what the left wants. You've been shouting for people to wake up for years, and people do. And you just want to harp on, and I get it, that it didn't happen soon enough. And I don't believe that. I can't believe that. I have too much hope in my soul to roll over and die. I don't know what the solution is, but I know it's not to beat people while they're already down.
Hello, my name is Jason, and I left MAGA. I supported Trump because I enjoyed antagonizing people. I feared responsibility. My alcoholism, which became a physical addiction, fueled obsessive behavior. This lack of rational thought prompted me to attend the Stop the Steal rally, where a violent riot broke out and we all competed for Trump's attention with a violent vengeance. The government held me accountable for my actions before I was ready. During my rehabilitation, I finally put the bottle down and was better able to understand the consequences of my actions. It was these actions that contributed to the horrific attack on the Capitol Police and resulted in the deaths of Officer Brian Sidnick, Officer Jeffrey Smith, and Officer Howard Liebengood. It was in their memory and the memory of former Trump supporter Ashley Babbitt that I refused Trump's pardon, because the pardon was both egregious and dishonest. Nothing about January 6th was pardonable. Unity contradicts Trump's lies. Thank you.
Are you one of the thousands, if not millions, quietly quitting MAGA? Or are you in the process of leaving MAGA? It's been a hidden news story, but it's starting to make its way out into mainstream media that there are lots of MAGA who are done with this administration. And you see a lot of them here on TikTok, voicing the reasons why they've done so. But I just haven't seen enough, so I know you're out there quietly quitting, quietly leaving MAGA. And I want to know, and a lot of people want to know, why? What was it? What was the moment that you realized you were done with them? What went so wrong that made you say, yeah, I'm not MAGA anymore? No judgment here, no name calling. I'm not looking to give anyone a hard time. I really want to know. I don't want to rely on media anymore. I want to rely on the people, you guys out there. So tell me, why did you leave MAGA?
MAGA is dying, and I'm completely okay with it. MAGA was given to us as this idea of making America prosper, making America the greatest country it could be. And they've completely lost the plot. And as a first-time voter in 2024, I fell for it. And I deeply regret it.
Dear MAGA Americans, I think that many of you deep down are perturbed over what happened with Renee Good dying at the hands of an ICE officer. And I think that you know that something is amiss in the country. Everyone, it's Rich here at Leaving MAGA, leavingmaga.org. For those of you who are in MAGA right now and you're questioning whether this movement is for you and whether you should stay in MAGA, maybe the death of Renee Good is the final straw for you. Maybe this is where you say enough is enough and you walk away from MAGA and leave behind a movement and a leader in Donald Trump who have made acceptable, avoidable deaths and suffering. And maybe this is the exit ramp for you to join us, at Leaving MAGA. We are a community that counters the toxic community of MAGA. We are one of truth. We are one of fairness. We are one of love. We are one where people reclaim their individuality, a community where you no longer need to dehumanize other people, and a community where you no longer need to justify the unjustifiable. So make sure you reach out to us if you're having doubts right now. Contact us through direct message. Visit our website at leavingmaga.org. My email is there. For many of you right now who might be having doubts, maybe the death of Renee Good is the final straw for you. There is a better way than staying in MAGA. So make sure you reach out to us if you need that support. We are here to help. I know where you've been. I know what you might be going through. You don't need to go through it alone. Again, you can reach us at leavingmaga.org. As always, appreciate you watching. Thanks for your support, everyone.
I thought it would be easier talking about leaving MAGA as a 3-time Trump voter than it is, but some of y'all are really mean. And I get this was me this time last year, but that doesn't matter because, again, my feelings matter. Yours never mattered. The level of hate I'm getting is unreal. People telling me to have accountability, to put the work into my community instead of coming on the internet and crying for myself. Like, you just don't get it. So much for the tolerant left. You guys are exactly how the right describes you. Like, how do you not get that this shit is hard?
Hey everybody, Rich coming to you here at leavingmaga.org. I want to make a particular appeal today to MAGA Americans. I really don't believe that what is happening in our country now is something that you want. But I understand that it's not a natural act for us to admit that we believed lies and that we acted upon them and that we allowed those lies to shape our being and our personhood and our identity. And Leaving MAGA does not judge you. We do not ostracize those who have doubts. You are welcome with us at our community. And for friends and family who are out there who have friends and family in MAGA, we are here for you as well for support. Make sure that you follow us at our socials, leavingmaga.org. Get on our newsletter. Make sure you're subscribing. Empathy is much more preferable than scorn. Thanks so much, everyone. Appreciate your support.
Hi, I'm Courtney and I left MAGA. I was a huge Trump supporter back in 2015 and 16, and then C-19 hit in 2019. And that's when I realized that the number one job of the president, to protect the citizens of the United States, he failed at miserably. Then came the election lies, the drama, J6, and it hit me. This guy does not care about us. All he cares about is himself. And listen, it is not easy changing your beliefs, veering off course, especially when that means telling your friends, your family, people that you've known your entire life that your views have changed, that you disagree with them, that your fundamental views are completely different, that you're unlearning things, that you're questioning them. You start to learn that it's not actually about Trump or MAGA. It's an entire belief system. And that's why organizations like Leaving MAGA are so important. It's a community to fall into. It's a safe space to land. Oftentimes when you don't have anywhere else.
I am a triple Trumper and I left MAGA. Let me explain why I left. For years, I was able to rationalize supporting him even though he was doing all these terrible things because I didn't give a shit. But the day everything changed and I left MAGA was when he did the same bad thing he's been doing for the last 9 years, but it affected me a little bit. I couldn't take that. How could he cross that line? I mean, he crossed it over and over and over and over again, and I didn't really think about it, but I can't let this go on. I mean, I just had the wool pulled over my eyes and it wasn't even my fault. And I've totally changed as a person, even though this happened 3 weeks ago. So you can't really get mad at me because I'm a different person. None of the things you say apply to me because I'm good now. I take full accountability, but I didn't do anything wrong. I couldn't have learned things or decided to show empathy.
I don't understand why the MAGA crowd doesn't like being called a cult. You wear red hats, you chant MAGA all day long, and you say that Trump is daddy and you're king and could do no wrong, but you're not a part of a cult. No matter how much I hate on the Democratic Party, they have never ever walked around chanting, "Make America Great Again." Put it on t-shirts, put it on hats. Nobody's dressing up as any Democratic leader. But you guys are. You guys are.
I think the hardest part about all of this is that middle-aged, I didn't think I could get fooled again by politicians, not after W, which I voted for. I voted for peace and independent parties every election since then. And I'm still processing the fact that I've part of the demographic that ushered this into power. Now we're sending our kids to die in war again. Over nukes. Not weapons of mass destruction. That was never going to work. It's full-blown, maybe potentially nukes this time. I hate myself.
So Joe Kent, the high-ranking Trump official who resigned today and put in his resignation letter that there was no imminent threat, the Iran war is stupid, and basically Israel dragged us into it, is going on Tucker Carlson tomorrow. That should be interesting. Now, I can't stand either one of those people. But remember, Carlson said recently he's being framed by the government and that the CIA was reading his text messages. So clearly there's something stirring in the pot of the MAGA movement. And we've had earlier fights this week when Trump took the side of Mark Levine, when Megyn Kelly was accusing him, the Fox News host, of having a micro penis. I mean, it's getting really spicy and kind of crazy. So, oh, and also, Tulsi Gabbard.
That wasn't just anger. That was frustration. That was disappointment. That was someone reacting to something deeper than what we see on the surface. And moments like this, they don't just appear out of nowhere. They build up over time. Let's be honest, when people strongly support a political figure or movement, they build expectation, they believe in outcome, they trust that thing will go a certain way. But when reality starts to look different, that gap between expectation and reality, that's where frustrations begin. And sometimes the frustration comes out in public, in emotional way, in moments that go viral. Now, here's where the perspective of Black American becomes important because emotional reaction to politics, political outcome, that's not new. Black communities have experienced disappointment, frustration, unmet expectation in politics for decades. But here is the difference. Instead of reacting in one viral moment, there has been a long history of analyzing system, questioning power, or adapting. Understanding that politics is not just about belief, it's about outcome, and that awareness changes how people respond. Now, let's talk about something uncomfortable here. Sometimes people invest so much emotion into a political identity. That's when things don't go as expected. It feels personal, and that's when reaction becomes intense because it's no longer just about politics, it's about identity, belief, and perspective and perception. But here is the reality. No political figure is bigger than the consequences of their decision. And when those consequences shows up, people react. Now let me ask you something. What if moments like this are not just about anger, but about realization? What if this is someone confronting a situation they didn't expect? What if more people start having these moments but privately? Because not every reaction goes viral. Some happens quietly, some turns into reflection, and some leads to changes. The truth is, we are in the time where everything is recorded, everything is shared, everything becomes a conversation, and moments like this, they become symbols, not just of one person's reaction, but a longer emotional climate, a reflection of how people are processing what is happening around them. At the end of the day, this is not just about one MAGA supporter losing control. It's about what happens when expectation meets reality. It's about how people respond when beliefs are challenged. And it's about the importance of understanding system, not just supporting them. For Black Americans, this kind of awareness has been necessary for a long time. For others, it might be a newer experience. So when you see this viral moment, don't just focus on the reaction. Look at what it represents: frustration, expectation, reality, and the gap between all three. Because that gap, that's where the real story is. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think moments like this are just emotional reaction, or do they show something deeper happening beneath the surface? Drop your thoughts in the comment below. And if you enjoy real, honest breakdown like this, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel, because on this channel, we don't just react to viral clips, we break down what they really mean. And trust me, there is always more beneath the surface. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next video.